The 103rd edition of Le Grand Boucle will probably not go down in history of one of those legendary tours that are talked about in hushed tones for decades afterwards. But nor have the last 3 weeks only been an exercise in counting sheep. For one thing, we saw Mark Cavendish restate his claim to the title of fastest man in the world. A feat he achieved by keeping the coolest head in the collective chaos of the bunch sprint.
Cavendish has the front end of the race now! Cavendish! He's going to do it! Mark Cavendish has done it again!
Any thoughts that old Father Time might have caught up with the Manxman, or that fatherhood might have sated his desire, were firmly dispelled on the opening stage from Mont Saint-Michel to Utah Beach.
And I couldn't be any happier, unlike the children who I made them all cry in one go.
With Peter and the kids as principal cheerleaders, and Uncle Bernie Eisel on hand to cajole his old buddy over the big bumps within the dreaded time limit, the Cav caravan rolled back the years and reeled in the victories.
Now Cavendish goes, can he get past Greipel? It's going to be close! Cavendish and Greipel! Cavendish and Greipel! You cannot split them! It's between these two men, Cavendish and Marcel Kittel. Cavendish gets there, and he takes an extraordinary third win on a Tour de France that is becoming, for him, a tour of triumph. Still, Cavendish sits on Kittel's wheel. He's done it before. Is he going to do it again? Cavendish goes round the German. There's an almighty battle. John Degenkolb is in the mix, and Mark Cavendish punches the air. He thinks he's taken a fourth win.
On the second rest day, Mark finally decided that enough was enough. His attention can now turn to Rio, where we wish him the very best of British. On the subject of which, Steve Cummings, a teammate of Cav at Dimension Data, now soon to be on the same Olympic team. The man from the Wirral targeted stage 7 as being the day when he would vacate his customary position, the arrière du peloton, and go all in. And just as last year on the road to Mons, his gamble worked a charm.
Steve Cummings, enjoy this moment. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. This is a high mountain stage in the Pyrenees, and you have outfoxed the entire race.
And what about Adam Yates? On that same stage into Lac de Paol, he had suffered the almost inexplicable misfortune of having the 1 kilometre Flamme Rouge collapse on him, having broken clear of the chasing GC group. That gutsy descent would get him the white jersey for best young rider, a position he would not relinquish for the rest of the tour. Grand Tour victory is now a realistic ambition for the boy from Bury. We also had a stage for the ages. The 146 kilometres from Albertville to Saint-Gervais-Mont-Blanc had everything you could possibly want. Stunning scenery, changeable weather, a whole succession of chutes, including falls for the second and first place riders on GC. Borrowed bikes, endless attacks, and at the end of it, a magnificent French win for one of the new stars of world cycling.
This is a high point for Romain Bardet's young, developing and increasingly impressive career. He takes the win.
Unfortunately, that epic stage also saw the abandon of Tom Dumoulin with a broken wrist. A sad end to what had been an exceptional race for another of the new generation of superstars. The Dutchman's victory in the first Contre-la-Montre had established him as the natural successor to Spartacus and the Panzerwagen. Well, at least until Chris Froome got the better of him in the second time trial.
Chris Froome has absolutely blown the field apart, and he has taken a major scalp in Tom Dumoulin here. The best time trialist has been defeated by the best stage racer.
But Big Tom refuses to be pigeonholed as only that. Puncheur, grimpeur, rouleur. Let's just call him a winner. His tour also included a solo victory on the long, hard slog through a torrential downpour into Andorra Arcalis, the stuff of legend.
He's one of the stars of the peloton, Tom Dumoulin. Every passing race that he enters, he makes his mark. He never comes away seemingly with nothing, and he's done it again on the Tour de France. He's come here and taken a famous stage victory on stage 9 in the Pyrenees at Arcalis.
There were other high points from low country riders, long admired in the pedalling fraternity. Greg van Avermaet not just taking the yellow jersey.
Stage win is something, but wearing yellow is the most beautiful thing, I think, for a cyclist.
But then attacking while in it.
Huge doffing of caps for this man. The yellow jersey of Greg van Avermaet gaining time on the general classification.
And fellow Belgium, Thomas de Gent, triumphant on the wind-shortened Ventoux stage.
This is a big moment for Thomas de Gent. He takes the win at Chalet-Renard.
Also for the aficionados, the sight of two riders engaged in a game of cat and mouse, straight out of the track sprint textbook.
Pantano just doesn't want to be there. He knows what Maika's game is. Rafa Maika holds nothing back. He opens up his sprint. Can Pantano get back on terms? I think he might have even got past him. So the Colombian has done it. Rafa Maika had him just where he wanted him, except where it really mattered, and that was across the line. Jarlinson Pantano takes the win.
For lovers of tactics,
Darryl, if you have the legs to go again, mate, to draw these guys out.
there was also Orica Bike Exchange's superb orchestration of a breakaway, getting 3 men in a royal escape to allow their main man a free passage to the final sprint.
Who's going to be the first of the big favourites to jump?
Come on, Bing! Come on!
3 across the road. Who has got the wheel in the front though? It is Michael Matthews, his debut win on the Tour de France.
Peter Sagan has used this tour to present his credentials as the most charismatic and talented rider since the original cannibal, Eddie Merckx, Monsieur Mange-Tout. We always knew he was a character. But surely the star-crossed rainbow jersey has never been so prominent in the Tour as this year. Where 2015 was a succession of hard luck stories and second-place finishes, 2016 has been a year when it all fell into first place.
It's between Alaphilippe and Sagan at this point. The world champion, no! He wins. Alaphilippe thumps his handlebars. Sagan, they can go. Christoph across the line, but I think it was Sagan who got there first.
If you love cycling, then how can you not love Sagan? It's evident that pretty much all of Slovakia do, and most of them turned up in Switzerland to applaud him. With Alberto Contador wounded and then withdrawn, Vincenzo Nibali unable to make his legs follow where his head had led, Richie Porte bedeviled by misfortune, and Fabio Aru and Nairo Quintana either unable or unwilling to attack, the GC had an unfamiliar feel. What odds on Bauke Mollema and Adam Yates being on the podium after a fortnight's racing?
It was a hard day today, but I felt good. So one day less until Paris.
And therein lay the problem. Understandably, perhaps, those riders were more interested in protecting what they had rather than pursuing greater glory. Meanwhile, out in front on his own, Chris Froome. The 2-time winner was clearly in sublime form and happy to attack as and when he saw fit.
Froome's on one. He's ripped open a bit of a gap on the descent.
That breathtaking act of audacity was merely an appetizer.
Chris Froome is riding himself to a stage win, and the yellow jersey on stage 8. Brilliant from Chris Froome. 2 of the key jerseys in the Tour de France have attacked and are up the road. A brilliant, inspirational, improvised move. It's another statement of how strong and how self-confident and how full of belief the yellow jersey of Chris Froome is.
And then came the madness of Mont Ventoux.
Christopher Froome qui n'a plus de vélo. Christopher Froome à pied. Mais quelle image du Tour. On n'a jamais vu ça. Un maillot jaune dans le...
With the time he put into his main rivals in the following day's ITT, Froome wouldn't have even needed the race jury to side with him on Ventoux to be in yellow. And when he crashed on stage 19 and had to ride the final 12k on Geraint Thomas's bike, Le Maillot, slightly rouge, still managed to finish the day extending his GC lead. Certainly Froome Dog is now top dog, perhaps even the new patron of the peloton. To wit, him taking a comfort break after the Simon Gerrans Ian Stannard crash, effectively allowing his fallen comrades to catch up to the bunch. And all the while, Team Sky have taken law enforcement to new levels of vigilance. The pace set by the likes of Wout Poels and Sergio Henao has been so high and so unrelenting that it's been simply impossible for riders to jump clear on the climbs. The boys in blue and black have taken no interest in policing breakaways if they don't include GC rivals. And as a consequence, we have witnessed many a race within a race. Whatever the arguments as to whether this has resulted in an unexciting race, one can only marvel at the Sky template. 4 Tour de France wins in 5 years. That is domination. So let's enjoy it while it lasts.